Hello, welcome to another art house movie review. This time I'm reviewing the film The Five Devils, directed by Mysius. So this story has several strands. At the centre of it is a young girl, Vicky, who has extraordinary powers of smell. But there's also a story about a frustrated lesbian love affair that ends in tragic circumstances, and also the story of a family life that seems to have no joy in it. So these different strands do take a bit of time to come together, but the film really kept me engaged. I liked the acting and I did like the way the story was constructed. At a surface level, it all kind of fits together at the end. Although it is quite understated, there is a strong sense of mystery. And it did draw me in, taking me on a journey to a fairly satisfying end. The film raises some interesting questions as a result of the time travel. Vicky is seeing her parents when they're much younger, and she's asking the question, would I exist if my parents hadn't got together? And travelling back in time, she does see a scenario where her mum and dad wouldn't have been together. Now, I'm a little bit confused about the title of this film, The Five Devils. The publicity photos for this film show people with a haunted look on their faces, with fire in the background. And I thought this was going to be some kind of film about devil worship or evil. And given that it's not my genre, I almost wasn't going to go and see this film. Luckily, I did read a review of the film and realised that it wasn't that film. It turns out that The Five Devils is the name of the sports centre where a lot of the story is set. The film definitely isn't anything to do with evil or the devil as such. We do get a sense of something supernatural perhaps going on. Vicky makes a strange potion in her back garden, but I just had a feeling that the film never committed to its potential supernatural elements. They were only hinted at, and I had the feeling that it was hanging a little bit between genres. One thing that did really bother me when thinking about this film afterwards was that Vicky's auntie's mental health problems actually seem to be related to the appearance of Vicky in her life when she was younger. When she sees Vicky, she thinks there's something wrong with her, and the consequences of this are tragic. And although I said at a surface level the film does kind of hang together, I felt this was something that the film just couldn't ignore. This doesn't mean I need everything to be explained, of course not. Perhaps there is meant to be some kind of malevolent energy at play here, but I never really got a full sense of that. But if I take the film at face value, what do I think it's about? At the most core level, I think it's about people that are different and how they end up excluded and often unhappy. In some ways, this can perhaps be said for all of the main characters in the film. Clearly, Vicky's special powers are a difference, but do leave her with a kind of sense of exclusion from everything else in her life. I did wonder whether Vicky's powers hint at neurodiversity, but if this is the case, it's really not obvious how that all fits in. Although very different in tone, this film did make me think about Petite Maman, directed by Celine Sciamma. Both these films involve a young girl having contact with her mother when she's younger, and this does make an interesting theme. I hadn't seen any of this director's other work, and her previous film, Ava, is currently streaming on Mubi in the UK. It's interesting how Ava is also a film about one of the five senses, where Ava is losing her sight. In one film we have deteriorating eyesight, and in this film, The Five Devils, we have kind of enhanced smell. This doesn't really feel like a coincidence, and perhaps Mysius' next film will be about one of the other senses. I did enjoy Ava, so I've done a separate review of that film. Overall, I did feel this film was well worth watching. It was entertaining and left me with some interesting thoughts. The final shot is amazing and slightly mind-bending. So overall, this was a good experience, even if I do think the film has some flaws. Thanks for watching. See you next time.